Scotty pressed her ear against the cold metal floor of her quarters aboard the Meridian Dawn, certain she'd heard something unusual. There it was again, a series of tiny, guttural roars echoing from beneath her bed platform. "Coulson," she whispered into her comlink, "you need to get to my quarters. Now." Within minutes, her fellow xenobiologist appeared at her door, his dark hair disheveled from sleep. "This better be good. It's 0300 hours. Scotty gestured frantically toward the bed. "Listen." They both crouched low, and Coulson's eyes widened as the miniature roars grew more animated, punctuated by what sounded distinctly like arguing. "Are those the Kreshta cubs?" Coulson asked, referring to the 6 juvenile aliens they'd rescued from a derelict vessel 3 weeks prior. "I think so, but..." Scotty pulled up the floor panel beneath her bed, revealing a crawl space that shouldn't have existed. The ship's original schematics showed solid decking here. They modified the ship. Coulson activated his wrist light, illuminating an impossibly intricate network of tunnels extending into the walls. The passages were barely wide enough for the cat-sized Kreshta cubs, but featured carved supports, ventilation shafts, and what appeared to be primitive lighting from bioluminescent moss they must have cultivated from the hydroponics bay. "By the stars," Scotty breathed. "They've built an entire infrastructure." Following the sounds, they crawled through the narrow passage, uncomfortable for humans but navigable, until they reached a small chamber directly beneath Scotty's sleeping platform. Inside, all 6 Kreshta cubs sat in a circle around a holographic projector they'd clearly scavenged and repurposed. The image floating above it was crude but recognizable, a 3-dimensional representation of a human. The cubs froze, their luminescent eyes reflecting the light like tiny suns. "It's okay," Scotty said softly in Kreshta, her pronunciation still imperfect despite weeks of study. "We're not angry." The eldest cub, whom Coulson had nicknamed Stripes for the distinctive markings on his copper fur, stepped forward. His translator collar, a gift from the human crew, crackled to life. "We meant no disrespect, Tall One Scotty. We were conducting our counsel." "Counsel?" Coulson squeezed in beside Scotty, his scientific curiosity overriding his discomfort at the tight space. Stripes gestured to the hologram with a 4-fingered paw. "We are trying to understand you. Humans. Your kind saved us when our ship died in the dark between. Our pack memories say humans are weak, soft skin, no claws, no natural armor. But you are not weak." Another cub, smaller with azure-tinted fur, chimed in. "You breathe the poison air of many worlds. You heal from wounds that would kill us. You make tools for everything because your bodies can do nothing. And yet," Stripes continued, his translator struggling with the emotional weight of his words, "you do everything. You pulled our ship from the gravity well of the dead star. You fixed our stasis pods when your own engineers said it was impossible. Tall One Coulson worked for 6 day cycles without sleep." Scotty glanced at Coulson, who shifted uncomfortably. "I had to make sure you'd all survive," he muttered. "This is what we discuss in council," Stripes said, his small chest puffing with importance. "In all the pack memories, across all the generations of Kreshta, humans are known as the soft ones. Prey beings who conquered stars through cleverness and desperation. But we have lived with you, eaten with you, learned from you. We believe the pack memories are incomplete." The Azure Cub pulled up another hologram, this one showing various alien species the cubs must have accessed from the ship's database. "Kreshta are strong. Borthan have armor like mountains. Zelith breathe fire. But humans..." The hologram shifted to show historical footage of human achievements. The first Mars colony, the terraform of Kepler 442b, the peace treaty signed aboard Unity Station. Humans are the only species who looked at the universe and said, "We do not belong here," and then made themselves belong anyway. Scotty felt an unexpected lump in her throat. "You've been studying us." "Every sleep cycle," Stripes confirmed. "When Tall One Scotty rests above, we gather to share observations. We are cubs, but we are not foolish. We know we are alive because humans refuse to accept what is impossible." Coulson sat back, hitting his head on the low ceiling. "Your pack memories call us prey?" "Called," Stripes corrected, his whiskers twitching in what Scotty had learned was the Kreshta equivalent of a smile. "Past tense. We are writing new pack memories now. The cubs of this cycle will remember that humans are not prey. They are the species that makes reality obey them. The smallest cub, barely the size of a human hand, squeaked something in rapid Kreshta. Stripes translated. Little Ember asks, "Will you teach us to be more like humans?" Scotty exchanged a long look with Coulson. In his eyes, she saw the same wonder and responsibility she felt. These cubs had built a secret society beneath her bed just to understand the strange, soft aliens who had saved them. "We're not special," Scotty said gently. "We're just stubborn." "No," Stripes insisted, his tone carrying the weight of absolute certainty. "You are extraordinary, and you do not even know it. This is the most human thing of all." The other cubs roared their agreement, tiny, fierce sounds that echoed through their carefully constructed meeting room. Coulson rubbed his face, exhausted but smiling. "All right, Council of Cubs. If we're going to teach you about humans, first lesson, we don't hide our meetings. Come to the observation deck tomorrow at 0800 hours. We'll start with basic engineering principles. And xenobiology," Scotty added. "If you're going to write new pack memories, you should understand why humans evolved the way we did. Why we're weak in ways that made us strong." Stripes stood tall, his small form radiating dignity. "The council accepts your wisdom, tall ones. We will attend." He paused, then added with careful formality, "And we apologize for stealing 17 power cells from engineering." 17. Coulson groaned as they crawled back through the tunnels. Scotty couldn't help but laugh. Behind them, she could hear the cubs already chattering excitedly about tomorrow's lessons, their tiny roars full of hope and determination. "You know what's funny?" Scotty said as they emerged back into her quarters. "What? They built all of this, an entire underground network, a council chamber, a study group dedicated to understanding us, and they still think we're the impressive ones." Coulson smiled, sealing the floor panel. "That's because they're starting to think like humans. They saw a problem, not understanding their rescuers, and they solved it. They didn't wait for permission or guidance. They just did it." Above them, the Meridian Dawn sailed through the cosmos, carrying humans and cubs together into the unknown. And beneath Scotty's bed, a secret meeting room stood ready for its next council session, where the youngest members of an ancient species would continue learning what it meant to be human. Fragile, stubborn, and absolutely unwilling to accept the word impossible. In the end, the cubs were right about one thing. Humans had conquered the stars not despite their weaknesses, but because of them. And now, they were teaching the next generation to do the same. One tiny roar at a time.